Hello everybody, it's Gary Hallican here, and I've got the good stuff for you today. Today we are looking at the McFarlane Toys Batman and Robin wave. My dad actually got me these for Christmas this year. I received Batman and Robin on Christmas. Unfortunately, Batgirl and Poison Ivy were a little bit late in shipping, so I have just received them now. But now I have all of them, so I'm ready to review them for you. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do an individual video review on each one of them, and then after that I will release a combined video with all the reviews together in case you want to watch them all at once. So let's go ahead and start with Batman himself. Okay, so here we are with the George Clooney Batman, arguably the worst Batman. Many people might tell you that. I'm going to go ahead and give you a hot take here and say that I think Bale is actually one of the worst Batman, but you can decide on that for yourself. So this comes in the typical DC Multiverse packaging in the black and white and blue. However, these are red on the sides and on the top, and they have the Batman and Robin logo in each of those places, so that's nice. On the back, we've got information about the Arnold Build-A-Figure. The back of the package is the same on all the figures in this wave, except for each one indicates which parts of Mr. Freeze that they come with. Otherwise, all the pictures are the same. The pictures of the characters on here come from the original movie poster, which I have one of, and it looks like this. So, even if this isn't the greatest movie, it had a great movie poster. And actually, the original Kenner toy line for this movie was really great as well. And these figures look like they're going to be cool too. So I found that it's often the case where the worst movies end up with some of the best toys. I don't know why that happens, but it seems like it does happen sometimes. All right, so let's go ahead and get Batman out and see what we think. So here we have Batman out of the package, and he's actually a little bit difficult to get out of the package. McFarlane still insists on using those little ties to hold everything in, and his cape, of course, has to fit through a hole in the plastic that is a little bit smaller than the width of the cape, and that, unfortunately, on mine seems to have caused some wrinkles here. I don't know how well you can see that, but some wrinkles in the cape where it was being pinched in by the plastic. And I don't know how well you can see this. I think you can see it right there. There's a bit of a line here across the cape where the cape met the plastic. And so that is a little bit unfortunate. I don't like that at all. Otherwise, though, this figure looks really cool. First impressions, I think, are quite good on this. Just the packaging, I guess, that I have an issue with. The suit, I think, is rendered really well and really accurately, all the way down to the bat nipples, of course. I know a lot of people have probably pointed that out. But to me, this looks really good. This looks like it jumped right out of some of the old Batman and Robin coloring books that I've got from back in the day there, right? I think the suit, as simple as it is, though, is rendered really well. And you've got a lot of little details, like the bat symbols on the boots. And the belt looks nice, and the chest logo looks really nice. The whole thing is a little bit of kind of a semi-gloss finish, which looks pretty good. I think looks pretty close to the movie. One issue here, you see the knees are definitely a lot more matte finish than the rest of the legs. You could, chalk that up to being knee pads, of course, but they shouldn't be. They really should be the same gloss as the rest of it. The diaper piece is not really an issue on this one because it, ends at the belt here. So you can just chalk it up to, Batman's regular old trunks, right? Even though I know that this suit in the movie doesn't have trunks, it looks okay here in this case. But everything else is good. The abs are good. The place where there's the cut between the chest and the abdomen is not real noticeable. It blends together pretty well. So I think this is great. I think the proportions are good and it looks pretty much just like it should. I really quite like the cape. I know a lot of people don't like these rubbery capes, but I think it looks good. And it's much lighter than the capes on some of the other ones. So if you saw my review of the Batman and Spawn 2-pack, I really liked the capes on those, but they were much heavier. This cape is a lot lighter, so it shouldn't really impede him too much as far as standing up or anything like that. If we come up and look at the head, I think the head sculpt is pretty good. I would say it's not George Clooney. There's definitely, like, maybe right there, you can say, yeah, that's pretty George Clooney-esque, I think. Not from every angle, but from some of the angles, you could say, yeah, that's George Clooney. So I think it's pretty good head sculpt. And the cowl looks pretty good. There is the issue that, and this is going to be an issue on any of these figures, people pointed out before, the head really should be kind of one piece with the neck, right, on these old Batman movie suits, so he looks a little bit wrong by having a, free head that can move around, right? Looks a little bit incorrect for the source material. But otherwise, I think this figure looks really great. I think this is, what you could ask for a Batman and Robin, George Clooney Batman figure. Some people might say that there should be a little bit of blue maybe in the suit. But I think that tends to be more lighting based in the movie. And, in some of the promotional materials, it looks a little more blue, but I think the suit really is meant to be just plain black, like you see in the figure here. All right, so for articulation, the head is much, much better than the actual head ever was in this suit. So you can look up about that far and look down that far. So that's pretty good. We can get a nice brooding Batfleck pose with him here. And can tilt side to side quite good. And of course twist all the way around. So the head is pretty good. Quite a bit better than the real suit would have. For the arms, they can go pretty much straight out. Go around at the shoulder. Cape doesn't really hinder him at all there. Not really anything forward and back. There's a little bit of a joint in here, but doesn't really do anything. Looks like, yes, does have bicep swivel. A little bit. There we go. Just tight is all. Does have bicep swivel. Has very excellent double elbow. And then at the wrist we have swivel at the wrist and a hinge. Vertical hinge, but he doesn't come with holding hands and he doesn't come with anything to hold. So we just have these fist hands here. So the vertical hinge doesn't really do much for us there. It is a shame a little bit that he doesn't come with holding hands, but like I said, he doesn't come with anything to hold either. And the gauntlet spikes are very sharp on there. So at the chest, we've got a little bit of crunch forward. Actually better than some. And pretty good amount of lean back. And the abs are done pretty well here, so we don't really get a gap at all when we're leaning back. Pretty good side to side. And of course can twist there at the chest and at the waist. For the legs, we've got out about that far. Of course, it does stretch the middle piece here a little bit, but it's soft. Back, only a little bit. Full splits easily. No problems there. The knees, they're a little bit strange if you straighten the leg out. Right, you've got kind of a strange shape to it, so you'll have the knee usually back one click or so. But we do have the excellent double knee. And then at the foot, point up that far, point down that far, so very good. We have toe joint there. And twist there. Doesn't look like we get much in the way of rocking back and forth, though. Can't seem to really get anything going there with that. So overall, though, pretty well articulated, and definitely better articulated than the real George Clooney Batman suit. So let's next see what he does come with. So Batman comes, of course, with the stand, regular standard stand, and he comes with the card. I never take these off because they are carded, of course, so you do have to destroy the packaging a little bit to get those out. And then really the only accessories he comes with are the pieces for the Mr. Freeze Build-A-Figure. So Batman comes with the legs, and he comes with 2 ice effects. So these ice effects are going to be able to fit onto the other figures, right, to simulate Mr. Freeze freezing them. So we will look at these when we look at all of the Mr. Freeze parts together and actually build him. So let's do some size comparisons next. So for size comparisons, here he is with the Batman Spawn 2-pack Batman. So I know I don't have him standing up straight, but he's definitely a little bit bigger, definitely a little more muscular, right, and a little bit wider cape. But I do think the Clooney Batman looks a lot like the real thing, proportions-wise. So it's okay that he's not quite as beefy, I think, as this other Batman here. Here he is with Marvel Legends Cersei. So, of course, he is in a totally different scale from her, in the 7-inch scale instead of in the 6-inch scale. Here he is with a typical 12-ounce beverage can. And, of course, as always, here he is with John Cena. So they're actually in pretty good in scale with each other, I think, this Batman and John Cena. All right, so that is the George Clooney Batman from the Batman and Robin wave. It's great. I really like it a lot. I think the suit, again, rendered really well. It's a lot more posable than the real suit, but that means you can get it into some good poses. Stay tuned on this video, and I'm going to do some dynamic poses. And again, head sculpt is good, cape is good, all of that. So if this is how the whole wave is, I think I'm going to be pretty satisfied with it. So like I said, stay tuned for dynamic poses. Let me know in the comments if you have this figure, and let me know in the comments who you think is the worst live action Batman. And we'll see you in the next review.